Moving on, the fate of the U.S. Taliban deal is still hanging in the balance while the war-torn nation is witnessing a rapid surge in bloodshed. Recently, NATO Secretary-General urged the Afghan government and the Taliban to step up the pace of peace talks amid doubts over whether the military alliance will pull thousands of troops out of the country by the May deadline. A report.
After 20 years of military engagement and billions of dollars spent, NATO and the United States are still grappling with the same challenge, that is how to withdraw troops from Afghanistan without abandoning the country to even more mayhem. Several reports have suggested that since the United States signed a troop withdrawal deal with the Taliban last year that called for a reduction in violence by all sides, attacks by the insurgent group have escalated. Highlighting the constant spike in the violence by the Taliban, NATO Secretary-General Jens Stoltenberg refused to commit to a deadline to withdraw forces from Afghanistan by May 1, as required by last year's agreement between the United States and the Taliban. He said that the alliance is seeking a lasting and sustainable political agreement in Afghanistan.
Defense ministers had a thorough discussion on the situation in Afghanistan. We are faced with many dilemmas, and there are no easy options. At this stage, we have made no final decision on the future of our presence. But as the 1st of May deadline is approaching, NATO allies will continue to closely consult and coordinate in the coming weeks.
There has been a surge in violence, with the Taliban continuing to carry out attacks targeting government leaders, security forces and civilians. The findings of Kabul-based media organization Tolo News show that up to 340 were either killed or wounded in security incidents in Afghanistan since the start of February 2021 as a result of magnetic IEDs, roadside bombs and targeted killings. This week too, 2 lecturers at Kabul University were killed when a bomb attached to the car they were traveling in went off. Meanwhile, a report by the UN monitoring team has also revealed that the Taliban has kept up a close relationship with Al-Qaeda, despite having pledged to stop cooperating with the group. These deep ties between the Taliban and Al-Qaeda are a serious and significant factor that could break the already fragile peace agreement apart.
So what we see is that Taliban is responsible for violence. We see that there is still a need for Taliban to do more when it comes to deliver on their commitments, including the commitment to break ties, to not provide any support for terrorist organizations that can plan, organize attacks against us. So Taliban needs to reduce violence, to negotiate in good faith, and to make sure that they break all ties with international terrorists, not provide them any support.
The Taliban's brazen offensive has put the Biden administration into a dangerous political bind. If the United States honors the withdrawal date, there are apprehensions that the Taliban could overwhelm what's left of the Afghan security forces and take control of major cities. However, if Washington and NATO don't leave Afghanistan on the preset date, the Taliban have made it clear that the world will face a dangerous war, a war that never happened in the past 20 years.